Raising Graceful Children. I'm your host, Brett Glover. You know, life's not about the destination, it's about the journey. I'm sure you've heard that statement once or twice before. I know that from experience as a child growing up on our family vacations, how that felt. About the journey, about travelling away with my family, my brother and sister and my parents to our holiday destination. We did that every year. It was an annual routine, a ritual you might say, as we made our way on vacation. We used to travel about 9 hours or so, maybe a bit longer, north to different destinations for our annual holiday. And I remember this one particular trip that Mum had spent the month beforehand packing all this stuff as a spring cleaning, and she cleaned out all these garbage bags full of stuff and she packed them up in the garage. And she packed a whole number. She was working for over a month on this, throwing stuff out to give away to St Vincent de Paul, as she was clearing out the old jumpers and everything else that she could find, and she packed them in the garbage bags. She also happened to pack our holiday stuff, our vacation travel luggage, in the garage next to it. Now, what happened in this trip that Mum and Dad had this big barney and they were just getting over it, and Dad was packing the boat and the car. He hitched the boat up to the car and we were ready to go, and we were packing stuff in. And I remember Dad was like a bull at a gate. He was huffing and puffing and carrying on, complaining and moaning, and I just kept a low profile. I was to help him and help him pack the car, and here I was as the oldest child, handing him the bags and so forth to put in the car and the boat as we were going along. And we're working away there, and all of a sudden, you know, Dad points to this pile of stuff that was over in the corner, which was to be the spring cleaning stuff to St Vincent de Paul's. And he said, "Hand me those bags." Now, I wasn't going to say anything. I wasn't going to get caught in the crossfire, so I kept my mouth shut. So I'm handing him these garbage bags and he's packing them into the boat and into the car. He fills the car up first and he starts filling the boat up. And before long, the car and the boat are chock-a-block full of stuff. He could not move. And he gets the ropes down, he ties the stuff down on the boat and ties all the stuff in, and he's complaining to himself, "Your mother's packed way too much stuff. What do you think she's doing?" And he's carrying on about how your mother had packed way too much stuff, enough not for 2 weeks, but for 2 months. And he wasn't happy. He was bull at a gate. See, in his mind, he has this questing going, that when you're going on holidays, I think a lot of fathers do this, they get this, they've got to make things on time. Everything's got to go to order. It's got to go to plan. And here my father was developing this plan. And all this luggage went against his plan. This was going to slow him down. This was going to slow his timing down to get to the next place. This was not a good thing, carrying a heavy boatload full of stuff. It wasn't going to fit with his schedule. And he was focused. It was his goal to get there on time. He had this like a Chevy Chase moment. I could see it in his eyes. It would be like a glaze would come over his eyes and he would just about lose it. There was nothing in life more important than getting to your destination on time. And we're caught up in this quest, the holiday quest, the destination. We were caught up in that destination thing with my father. And here we were sitting in the car. And for the first half of the journey, some 4.5 hours, Mum would cop it. Dad was saying how much stuff you'd packed, and he'd give her an ear bashing about this for the first 4.5 hours. Then until we discovered that Dad had packed all the St Vincent de Paul stuff, and then for the other 4.5 hours, Mum gave it back to him. And I'm sure he regretted giving her such a hard time. He must have felt like a right so-and-so. But nevertheless, he took it, and it was good-natured. It was an amazing thing going on holidays with my family. My father still had this questing in his head. It was like it was stopping for no reason and no reason at all. You had the service station stops, the gas fill-ups, you had to fill your car up, you had to race to the toilet, get out, go, and off you go. And on one particular trip, I remember we were busting to go to the toilet, and we were just hanging out to go to the toilet, and Dad wouldn't stop for no reason. There was no stopping there. He was going on. And we're saying, we've got to go, we've got to go, we've got to go. And next thing we know, Dad hands this Kentucky Fried container, Kentucky Fried bucket where they used to put the chicken in, a big bucket of chicken. He hands it across to us and says, here, use this. Now it's a bit awkward, you know, we're three kids sitting in the back seat with a towel over us trying to go to the toilet in the back seat of the car. Really awkward. And it's not something we wanted to do. And we hand this back to Dad, and he proceeds to wind down the window and chuck it out the window. Then he puts the container back. I don't know what he was going to do with that container. Was he going to have some more chicken afterwards? I don't know. Certainly he puts the container back in. And yeah, I can just imagine the car behind us saying, hey Martha, I've never seen yellow rain before. Well, that's our experience travelling with my father. It's about the quest, and we're heading there. And we were told that if we had to go to the toilet, we had to go to the service station stops. While Dad was filling up with petrol, with gas, we would have to get the key and go to the toilet. Now we'd head off to the two. We'd often be busting to go to the toilet, and we'd head off to these toilets. And it always amazes me why we have to have a key to open these toilets. It's got me beat, you know. Are they really afraid, these service station attendants, that someone's going to break in and clean their toilets? Because they're in such a disgusting state. They look like they've already been broken into and trashed. So, but we get the key anyway and we go to the toilet. And on one particular time, there was a bit of huffing and puffing and rushing and two of the goals, and all of a sudden we're in the car and we're off driving, and we discover my brother is missing. Left behind. We have to turn around and get him, of course. We were rushing to the destination, rushing to get there, and we had to turn around and get him. You know, in the Bible, there's a similar story of Mary and Joseph and their annual vacation. The Bible tells us in the Gospel of Luke that that Mary and Joseph used to go on an annual holiday to the Passover at Jerusalem. They used to travel from Nazareth to Jerusalem. And they used to go with all their relatives in a big convoy, and they would go for a big celebration, a big party of the Passover festival. And they used to head off every year. On one particular year, while Jesus was just before his teen years, he was discovered that he was missing. That he was not in their company as they were heading back from Jerusalem to Nazareth. He was missing completely. Now, I'm sure Joseph is like many fathers. They're goal-orientated. Like all the fathers probably got together and say, we've got to make this at a certain time. I'm going to do this in order to reach our goals, our destination. No stopping. We're going to push on, push on, push on. I'm sure that came across. It was all about the destination, I'm sure. Until they discovered that Jesus was not there. He was missing. Now, I can just see Joseph there, you know, packing the extra bag on the donkey, like my mother's situation with the bags being carried off. I can just see that happening, and all the jokes that used to go around as they travelled. But Jesus, interestingly, rejected the quest of pushing towards that destination. He rejected that because the Bible tells us that he was found in the company of wise men asking questions. He was asking the big questions of life, the meaning questions of life. He was in the midst of it asking those questions. And Jesus had rejected the journey because it was a quest to push on to get somewhere, and he was more concerned with the deeper issues in life. He was concerned of being in relationship and asking those questions. So he just simply rejected it. And the truth is that if we're quest-orientated and that we're goal-orientated, we may miss the point, the relationship. We may miss the point that our kids want to ask those big questions. They want to be engaged with us. They want to find out about life, and they will go looking for it somewhere else. If we're not offering it, someone else will, and that may be dangerous. You may find someone there that is offering something that is not that healthy. Certainly, we must realise this. that it's not about the destination, it's about the journey, and it's about the relationships along the way. And that's what's important. It's about making the time so we can answer the kids' big questions about life. To switch from that quest orientation to the relational aspect, to relate to our kids, to sit with them, to listen to their questions about life, the big issues of life. That is your mission. Do you choose to accept it, or do you choose to reject it? Do you choose to be more relational or more quest orientated? I know some of the best conversations I've had with my kids have been when they've been sitting in the car with me and asking questions. This is an important time. Travelling with your kids, you can talk to them about a lot of different things, and take that opportunity to listen to them and to answer their questions about life. Thank you very much for watching this video, and we hope to see you next time. Thank you.